Egg yolks and egg whites kind of have different purposes in different recipes. So whites, of course, you could use for meringue. I've used them before to make fluff. So don't do that. Ooh, you can't let it sit there too long either. Don't do this at home. Welcome to Problem Solve Test Kitchen, where we test out the internet's most wackiest ideas. So there's this method. You use a cooling rack, just your standard baking cooling rack, to separate a bunch of egg whites from egg yolks. It's super simple. It's just crack your egg over the rack. All your egg whites will go into the bowl in the bottom while those egg yolks stay nice and intact. And then to get the yolks, you just let them slide off. So this method does work. I think it's a little overkill for just separating a few eggs. Most recipes you need like 2 egg whites, 2 egg yolks, and extra egg yolks. So just find something to do with that extra white or yolk. Maybe you're making homemade pasta and you need a ton of egg yolks. This could be a good option. So what I figured out is you don't want to disturb the rack. I've been banging it, knocking it on the bowl. Don't do that, just leave it undisturbed. I would kind of do 4 at a time. I'm using these quadrants and I'm letting it drip slowly so that the white separates and falls away from the egg. These are cold eggs. I'm wondering if there's a difference between cold and more room temperature eggs. These whites want to stay connected to the yolk. Come on now. Don't do this at home. This seems kind of like a messy, unnecessary step just to separate some egg whites and egg yolks. But egg yolks, great for pasta making. They're good for richness and thickening. They're used in a lot of sauces. Egg whites are gonna give you fluffiness and structure. That's why it's used for meringues, fluffy pancakes. But if you have a baking rack, yeah, wanna crack a few eggs? You know, of course you could do an all egg white omelet. This might be a good way to do it. It's just some of those whites like to get stuck. Maybe the results will vary by the type of eggs you're using. I think this is the most satisfying part of this trick, is that the yolks are supposed to just slide nicely down the tray into your separate bowl. All right, I'm gonna make the world's biggest omelet after this. A lot of scrambled eggs today. Of course, there's a tried and true method. You just break this up into classic Cristo. Classic Cristo. But maybe I can salvage it. See, nothing's ever a problem. I'm gonna pour the white out, hold that yolk back. I did it, see? Nothing's a problem. I just got the yolk, just like that. But basically, just learn to do it with the shell. Pop it back in there, pop it in that bowl. Don't mind this eggshell piece. If you're less coordinated than me, which I feel like might be hard to do, you can try another technique, just a classic egg separator. I mean, how cute is this thing? No fancy technique needed. Just sits on the edge of your bowl, crack your egg. You can't separate eggs without cracking a few eggs. These whites want to cling to their yolks. They don't want to be separated. They want to stay together. The other method, crack your eggs into a bowl. So you use a bottle, but you want to get most of the air out. And then you suck up the yolk really fast. If you are doing this a lot, if you're baking a lot, maybe get an egg separator. But I think for the normal, average cook, home cook, just being able to do it by hand is a whole lot less messy and a whole lot less equipment. Live in the kitchen with Christopher. You're waiting for him to grab something from the pantry, so enjoy this song. Something that's already in your kitchen that may work, just the end of your turkey baster. It'll gobble those yolks up. I think it works just as well as the water bottle trick. You just have to let some of that white drip out too, but just as effective. Solution 1, egg separator. Solution 2, turkey baster. What you should actually do, use 2 shells, like Demolition Man. 2 shells.